1. One of the great advantages of using Linux is the fact that you have complete control about how your system looks, feels, and functions. However, I as a person kind of want my software to be as out of the box ready as possible whenever I have it, and if I want to change anything, it's only minimal changes. Therefore, at the current point in time, I tend to prefer systems that come with GNOME, like what you can see here, because I do like the out-of-the-box experience and I only have to change some minor things. However, there are some things I want to change, and I'll show you what those are now and how I do so. Right now I'm using PopOS, which comes with a look very similar to this, but Ubuntu, Fedora and many other distros also come with GNOME, but they might look a little bit different from the beginning, for example not having this bottom bar by default, but that we can add using the approach we do now. The easiest way to change your system to look different is by using extensions. Now, most distros come with some kind of store, like on PopOS they have the Pop or Cosmic store, which utilizes both system packages and flathub packages. In my experience, for the extension manager specifically, which is what we're going to use, the flathub works best. But if you're on systems like Ubuntu, you might experience that this doesn't appear. So I recommend going through this link and entering in these commands to set up flatpaks on your system. And then afterwards, to install it, we can just go to here, and you just need to copy this command, and we can just do it together here to download it, which might take a second. Once the download has completed, we should just be able to search for Extension Manager, and it appears like so. Now, as mentioned before, there might be some differences in our system that can be seen here. So these are some of the extensions that are already downloaded, and here there's going to be the ones we can install. So let's go to Browse, to browse the different extensions available. Going by popular, for example, downloads will tell us a lot. So if you're on a system that doesn't have a dock, like I see here, this -dock I would typically install, generates a very similar look, but that's not the one I'm interested in. One thing I really miss is a clipboard to have a history. This is something I feel like is really missing whenever I work, so I usually use this clipboard indicator here. We just click install, accept it, and now if we copy some text, we can see here in the top corner that there's a full history. I've used this before, as you can see. And if you want to, you can quite easily also just change the hotkey by going here to the bottom. I tend to prefer Ctrl-Shift-C. The second thing I want is some kind of easier way to change my audio devices, so that I can change between where the sound should come from. And there is another one for that, called Audio Selector. I believe it's this one. So by installing that, I can now, with only a few clicks, change between where my audio should come from, which is really handy to have. Now, while we are on the topic of sound, I also want to be able to change the sound for each individual program. And for that, we can get the application volume mixer. So now, if I run, for example, one instance of music on one browser and one instance of music on another browser, I'm able to, from here, adjust the individual audio for each application, which is quite nice. Next up is emojis. I tend to use emojis when writing and writing notes as well. So I want to have an emoji selector like you have on Windows. This is a really handy program. You literally just use the super dot button and you get a selector, and it's very easy to use. That's exactly what it's supposed to. Next up, because I like to work with applications that often take up a lot of performance, I want an easy way to see that. And there is an extension called Top Hat that is really good for that. It's normally written like this. See if we find it. There we go. Which adds a few bars here. So for example, CPU usage, memory, and storage. Be aware that with this plugin specifically, I have experienced some issues in terms of system requirements that I was able to fix by simply running this command here to install this gtop especially. Afterwards, it should run. And the last extension that I use is week starts on Mondays. Again. Which simply changes the calendar to, instead of starting Sunday to Saturday, it goes from Monday to Sunday, which is what I am used to. And that is actually all the extensions that I use to make my system comfortable for me when using GNOME built on top of Pop! OS. But for you, this might be very different, and also for me, this will change over time. But it's a quite nice starting off point, and if you want any other extensions, just browse or try to Google if there is anything that fits a use case you have, anything specific that annoys you. It's typically quite easy to find an alternative solution for it. But with that, I don't have much more to say about this. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time.